Hey CNH KIWIN'S Secretaries, my name is Sandra Lee and I proudly serve as your District Secretary for the 2019 to 2020 term. So this tutorial will be about completing the Club Monthly Report form for the 2019 to 2020 term. So we'll first off begin by accessing the Club Monthly Report form Google Sheet, which I have sent a file in many emails which your Lieutenant Governors have already sent to you. However, if you don't have access to those emails or have never received it for some reason, then go ahead and open one of your browsers. So, and then head to the official CNH KIWIN'S website. That's kiwins.org. I spelled that wrong. kiwins.org. And once that loads up, you're going to click on the tab on the top that reads Resources and go down to General Resources right here. And the MRF template should be the very first link right here. It's titled MRF template for secretaries. And then click on that link and the MRF template should pop up. This is what it looks like. I'm sure most of you are already familiar with it. So this is the MRF, also known as monthly report form. And you don't have access to this because it is my file, which I did not share with you guys. So go ahead and make a copy. Simply press File in the top left corner, go down and press Make a Copy. And this should pop up, Copy Document, and I'd like you to rename the file. Go ahead and just highlight the word Copy of CNH KIWIN'S, and you're going to replace that with your school name. So for example, I attend Rancho Campana High School. So I'm going to go ahead and, for an example, I'll type in my school. So Rancho Campana, and delete the word template at the end. So it should read your school _ 2019 to 2020 MRF. Once that's all good, click on OK and your file should pop up. After you have renamed the file, immediately go ahead and click on, it's not showing up on mine right now, but it should be on the top right. It says Share. There it is. So go ahead and click on this top right button right here that reads Share, and then you're going to share it with my KIWIN'S email. That's kiwins.dsec@gmail.com. So go ahead and click Send. I'll just send it to myself. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So, as a secretary, you're responsible for reporting your club's progress and updates to better serve both yourselves and the district. So this form is meant to collect club information to provide your district, your LTGs, as well as club sponsoring Kiwanians with better data to help identify and address any club needs. But this MRF is emailed or submitted to your LTGs and sponsoring Kiwanians on a daily basis. During this term, the Club MRF will be due on the 1st of every month, just like it was last year. So for example, the April MRF will be due on May 1st. That's April 30th at 11:59 p.m., no later. So now that we've gone over deadlines and the importance of the MRF, let's go ahead and get into how exactly to fill this out. So this Google Sheet is composed of several tabs, and the very first tab, which you can't actually see. Okay, so you can't see it on my screen, but it's the tab right before the April MRF 1. It reads Service Record, and this is what it looks like. This tab is actually completely optional since most clubs have already curated their own system for tracking members' hours. But if you don't already have your own system, I highly recommend using this as it allows you to easily track both your members' hours and the events that they have attended. So in the first column right here, under the service record, this is where you'll be putting all your active members' names, and I highly recommend that it's written in alphabetical order. Though if you don't want to go through that work, I'll teach you a simple way to organize your names in alphabetical order. So this last name, first name is actually just there for reference, so you can just delete that. And then I'll go ahead and input some of the executive board names just so that you have an example of what it should look like. Lee Sandro. I wonder who that is. All right. Oh, I really can't deal with this keyboard. All right, so once you've inputted your active members' names. You're going to go ahead and select the first name. You're going to hold it with your cursor and then go down to the very last name. Once they're all highlighted, you're going to go to your toolbox on above and click on Data right here. Go down to the third one and click on Sort Range by column A through Z. Click on that and then boom, your names are in alphabetical order. It's pretty neat. So over here, next to the attendance area is this row right here is where you'll be putting event names. So for example, tomorrow my club is holding an event called Auntie Run. And the date for that is 4/28/19. And let's say this member earned 2 hours. This one earned 3. This one earned 1. And then let's say the next week they have another event. Each minute? I don't know, just making this up at this point. Oh wow, okay. And then date 5/6/19. Let's say this person earned 5 hours. Okay, so I just wanted to show this really neat trick that Google Sheets has. So Google Sheets is actually able to automatically calculate each member's service hours. So for example, this member right here has earned a total of 7 hours, but you don't have to worry about calculating that, especially after events keep adding up onto your sheet, because if you scroll all the way to the right of this service record tab, there's actually a section for total hours, and this is where Google Sheets automatically calculates each row of the member's hours. So right here, it says 7, like we said earlier. So that's it for this first tab. Let's go ahead and move on to the second tab, the April MRF 1. So each month has 2 tabs, and this is the first one. Right here, you're going to fill out basic club info, like month, division, school club, members to date, and Kiwanis division. I'll go ahead and use my school as an example once again. The month is April. Division, turquoise. I really can't spell. Kiwanis division number 42. If you don't know this number, you can just contact your regional advisor or Kiwanis advisor and they'll give it to you. School, Rancho, members to date. So I've received a lot of questions about this section, but basically just carry on the amount of members that were active from your previous term onto here. So you can check your previous secretary's MRF from the month of March on the amount of members. So just go ahead and check that and just input it here. And until it's due season again, you can update the amount of members then. So right now, I believe my school has 97 members. And then the dues paid is the amount of members, so 97 times 15. But you don't have to worry about doing that because, again, Google Sheets automatically calculates that. There it is. So then there's this section. This is for keeping track of attendance at any and all meetings. There's one for general meetings, which is held for all members in your club, and then one held for the board members of your club or the board officers. So basic information, simply put in the date, the amount of members that attended, the amount of Kiwanians that attended, the amount of guests that attended, and the amount of faculty advisors or your teachers. So guests are identified as basically anyone on the district board, so executive board, LTGs, and appointed board. And then same thing for board meetings, and then right below that is just the number of total meetings. So I don't know, let's say my club had 0, go ahead and just input 0. If there's ever anything that is blank, please don't leave it blank, fill it in. Like if we didn't have any meetings, I would prefer that you put a 0 right here rather than leaving it blank, just so that we know that you actually filled out your form entirely. Otherwise, it'll be counted as an incomplete MRF. So below this is another section, but this is just for other meetings. This includes GCMs, Kiwanis meetings, socials, things like that. And then right below that are just questions. So simply update the district on how you're doing, like whether or not LTG contacted you, if you received a newsletter, if you finished your MRF, and if your club needs help finding service events. So that's it for this first tutorial. So please watch my second tutorial on how to fill MRF Part 2. Thank you, and I hope this helped you guys.